Hello everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. This is Tarun from Testing Gyan and we are back with another podcast. This time we will share some real tips and stories to enhance your success in Salesforce ecosystem. So let us all welcome our expert guest Mitali, a mother to 3-year-old and a woman in tech.
Okay, Mitali, can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Yes, I'm Mitali. I'm one of the senior technical architects with Salesforce. I have been with Salesforce for a year and a half, almost a year and a half now, and but within the Salesforce ecosystem for over 11 years. I am a 25x Salesforce certified and a two-star ranger on Trailheads, almost approaching a three-star ranger. On personal level, I love reading. I absolutely love traveling, and I'm also a mother to a 3-year-old toddler.
To our first question, why should I bother learning Salesforce? Can you share like a cool story where like knowing Salesforce made a big difference in someone's life or job?
Sure. So I have, you'll find a lot of these stories, right, in the Salesforce global ecosystem. A lot of Salesforce resources are actually cross-trained from different. I have met people who have a big background from Oracle Siebel. I have met people who have Java background, who have .NET background. But let me tell you a story about a person I know who comes from a completely different background. So, this girl was absolutely flourishing as an interior designer when in India. She had her own business, had a lot of clientele, um, and life happens obviously. And her husband was offered a job in Netherlands, so she shifted to Netherlands, and she obviously expected to pick up the interior designing career within Netherlands, right? The problem that happened was because Netherlands is a lot of Netherlands buildings are historical. They don't really let interior designers change your building, right? You need an architect to do that. So she found the barrier to entry into the interior designing market a lot. Right now, obviously, because she was a bachelor's in interior designer, um, absolutely no IT background, nothing an IT background, but slowly she started learning Salesforce. I mentored her into learning Salesforce. We started at a beginner level, and within 3 to 4 months of learning Salesforce, she got two of the certificates. She got Salesforce Associate, she got her admin done, and she started getting job offers within Netherlands. So today she works. It's almost a year now that she has started working as a Salesforce admin, and the company has also started training her into CRM analytics to look after their whole CRM analytics as well. So I think as an interior designer moving into Salesforce, I think that's an absolutely cool story for someone to be inspired.
Thanks, Mitali. That was a lovely story which you have shared. Since we are talking about beginners going into this Salesforce ecosystem, so my next question to you is for beginners feeling a bit lost, what's your best advice to make learning Salesforce not so overwhelming? Or can you suggest any beginner-friendly tools or tips to our audience?
So it is overwhelming. The girl I told you about was very jittery, right? And she came from a non-IT background, so you can imagine the learning curve that she had to have, right? But Salesforce, I think what I love about Salesforce is the great community support, right? It is, I think, one of the very rare technologies where beginners are welcomed, beginners are given all the support, and not just beginners, right? Everybody is given support in within Salesforce, and so many people across the world are ready to help. Um, what I would highly suggest is if somebody is trying to do something, find a mentor, right? Because Salesforce gives you a lot of career paths, a lot of options. The Salesforce, as a technology, has grown by leaps and bounds over the years. So it is very overwhelming that even if you're a two-star ranger, three-star ranger, you don't know the path you want to follow, right? So a mentor will help you a great deal. So find a mentor. That is, I think, a very important thing. Find what is a passion for you? Does being an admin makes you excited about it? Does doing development give you excitement about it? And or a BA, a functional consultant, there are so many paths. Find your passion, and I think you will do great in it. um, Start with Salesforce Trailheads. There are fantastic resources for beginners. There are guided path modules. So if you want to be an admin, Trailhead will tell you what trails to do. It will tell you what modules to do. Right? Focus on the basics before you jump to become an architect or doing a high level data model. Try to learn Salesforce as a tool. Right? I see a lot of developers who come from different development backgrounds. You don't need to teach them Apex, right? They know how to code. They know how to get their designs done. They know how to optimize their code, everything, but they don't understand Salesforce as a platform. So you have to learn Salesforce as a platform before you move into an advanced role, even if you have that knowledge, or try to learn it while you're doing that. Do a lot of hands on practice. Try to create an object, try to create a flow, try to create a small trigger. Just as much hands on as you can. Just do that. Salesforce gives you free developer edition for unlimited time. How many technologies give that opportunity to someone who is keen to learn, right? It's not a 30-day trial, it's not a 1 year trial. It's as long as you want to learn. You get a uh, full-fledged developer edition of Salesforce, and join the community.
Yeah, Mitali, you are absolutely right. You made some very good points about community support, trailheads, mentor, and like obviously free developer edition is the plus point here. Like anyone can learn very easily, so it's really good for the beginners to start with. Absolutely right. So let's move on to the next one. So as like as we all know, like Salesforce keeps on changing, so how can someone can keep up with the pace, and why is it essential to stay updated with the latest Salesforce stuff? Like that's again for our beginners to understand like how they need to be updated with Salesforce.
So Salesforce keeps changing. We have 3 releases per year, which is phenomenal, I think, and so difficult for everybody to know everything. To give you an example of how much Salesforce has changed, when I started, the number of custom fields you could create on an object was 100. Today it is 800. um, and there were 7 certifications, including the CTA certifications. That is the time when I started Salesforce, right? Many moons ago. Today, I think we had an announcement a couple of days ago that Marketing Cloud is on platform, Commerce Cloud is on platform now. So on the core platform. So it's yeah, so it changes. Now, how do we keep up with it, right? It's difficult. I think it is important to understand that the with every release, the breadth and the depth of Salesforce changes. It is humanly, I think, not possible for a person to know full Salesforce anymore. Uh, it was a possibility 9 years ago, but today it has just grown so much. So how do you keep up with it is look at the release notes that Salesforce does. Follow Salesforce on social media, and you can find tiny posts that come up with what excite. And within the release notes, if you have read release notes, they are over 1,000 pages, right? So find what matters to you and then study that. Don't try to read the whole release notes, but try to what is important to your industry. So if you're industry aligned, what is new in your industry? If you're a developer, try see what has come new into Apex. And that is what I would do. Attend the events. I think um, a lot of Salesforce events like the World Tour, which is coming up in Sydney right now, you will find a lot of things which are exciting. Salesforce will do some exciting announcements possibly during the World Tour just to keep up with what is happening, right? There are so many blogs, I think. Medium, this website Medium, publishes a lot of Salesforce people publish on Medium. So just subscribe to some of those blogs, which interest you, and you can keep up with it. Now, why is it important, right? Like as an admin or as a developer, as an architect, why do you want to know? Because things which were possible, not possible in the last release, are possible today. For example, there were no record triggered flows earlier. When the flow started, there was no record triggered flows. Now there are record triggered flows. This doesn't happen in 3 months. It is a very progressive enhancement and features that come up. So you just need to be aware of what you can do today using out of the box config rather than Apex, or rather than customizing the platform, right? Because a lot of things which would require customization today are given you out of the box or with configuration. There are a lot of security updates that happen, so you need to know what are the security updates that are coming. Compliance is change. I think the biggest compliance standard is GDPR, in Europe today, and you need to keep yourself relevant in healthcare. It's HIPAA, so you need to know, it has something changed, has a compliance requirement changed, especially if you're working in that industry. It is very crucial for you to understand. It gives you a competitive advantage over um, others, right? So if you know what is happening, and if you're following the Salesforce trend and technologies, you have a competitive advantage. If you're looking for a job, if you're looking for a collaboration, obviously companies and employers will see that you have upgraded yourself as and how the Salesforce has changed. And believe me, it's not an easy task to be updated as and how the Salesforce changed. So obviously it gives you a lot of advantage in your own personal growth as well.
Thanks, Mitali. Loved your answer about release note and people attending events. So nowadays, Salesforce gives that opportunity where people can attend
Virtually, yes.
virtually too via Salesforce Plus. Yeah. So, and another thing, people can watch podcasts like this to have more
Of
insights.
course, yes.
Okay. Yeah. And as they say, network is your net worth, right? So my next question to you is, connecting with others is of course important. How can someone make friend in Salesforce world, and what's the big deal about being part of Salesforce community?
I think Salesforce makes it very easy to be part of the community, honestly. Um, like, attend Salesforce events. There are so many events which are done officially by Salesforce. And I'm not just saying about Dreamforce or World Tour, but there are a lot of community led events as well. There are so many virtual events, there are so many meetups which Salesforce does themselves. There are so many online communities which meet up regularly. I know Sydney, Melbourne, even in India, Delhi, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Jaipur has a lot of these communities happening where there are virtual and in-person events that happen. A lot of these events will help you meet up people who share your interest with Salesforce, who will help you in mentoring, who will mentor you, or you will find your mentees as well out there, right? So why is it necessary to to be part of the group? If you're doing yourself, you're doing fabulous, you have a great job, you're doing amazing in your job, why do you still need to do it? uh, Personally, I think everybody needs a community to grow. um, you will walk alone. uh, there is a saying that alone you walk fast, but if you want to walk far, you have to walk together. And I think that is one of the most important reasons why you need to be part of the community. You get your uh, learning and growth. I need somebody to just uh, put my ideas across. Sometimes it's just helpful for me to just talk to somebody and share my ideas about anything that I'm working on, or I have a problem that I need to solve. Even after 11 years in Salesforce community, I still need the community to tell me if I'm doing the right thing and what do I do next. A lot of Salesforce jobs happen within the community. So employees keep looking within the meetups that you are having, the events that you are having, you're attending. You will find a lot of your prospective employers there as well, who are always looking out for new talent. So it is excellent for your career advancement as well. You will find your support, your mentor there, right? And staying active in the community will give you a lot of these opportunities, which you will not get alone.
As you mentioned about jobs, so my next question is around jobs, like people who just want to start with Salesforce, like why is having skills, Salesforce skills, awesome for getting a job? Like what kind of jobs can someone get, and where exactly these jobs are hiding?
uh, the example I gave in the very first question, right? Just imagine if she did not learn Salesforce, she would still be trying to crack interior designing, and she might have cracked it, but I think she's earning pretty well today than she would have if she had started as an interior designer. So that is an awesome skill to have. I think Salesforce, it is Salesforce, I think, is a market leader within the CRM space. It is high in demand, but I think what is more important is gives a diverse job roles, right? It's not that if you are not a developer you cannot be part of Salesforce. If you are not a storyteller you cannot be part of Salesforce. The job, there are jobs for people of all capabilities. Your last guest was like from doctor to an architect, right? I have known people who are landscape designers moving into Salesforce, interior designers moving into Salesforce. I have had finance people move into Salesforce. And what is fabulous about Salesforce is it's a global um, technology, right? Um, Today you're in, suppose you're in India, or I'm in Sydney here. Tomorrow if I decide to go to US, if I decide to go to any European country, or even any country actually over the globe, I don't have to learn anything new. I can just start my career off as a Salesforce architect from where I stopped, right? I am not bound by the country's rules regulations, which is not the case with a lot of professions. For an accountant they need to know the account rules which happen. For a lawyer obviously they are bound by states. So Salesforce gives you a lot of exposure, a lot of opportunities to move globally as well. You're not restricted to a country or region, and you can work remote. I think that's the best part about it. I'm working from home. So that's changing now a little bit, but there's still opportunities, right? Which a lot of jobs do not have this opportunity. So I think that's a great thing to be in Salesforce. Now, where are the jobs hiding? So they're not hiding anywhere. Like I said, a lot of Salesforce jobs are shared within the community, right? A lot of them would just be on the internal employee portal. A lot of them happen due to um, internal recommendations as well. Or you would be reached out directly on LinkedIn or some place like on emails. um, and that is one of the reasons why you need to be part of the community, right? You want to get a chance to hear those jobs, those opportunities, those growth in your careers. It is very necessary. Also, Salesforce jobs have changed now. When I came to Sydney in 2015, a lot of these jobs were direct job adverts where we need a Salesforce admin, we need a Salesforce developer, or very few jobs for Salesforce architects, because architect was still growing as a capability in Salesforce. What has happened now is these jobs are still there, but they are not that the companies have changed their requirements because the times have changed. The world has moved on since 2015 to 2024. Now people want industry specific admins. Now people want developers with PD2 certifications. They want architects to have application architecture, system architecture, along with the industry that they are recruiting for. So people would want people who have experience in ENU cloud. People want PSS. People would want loyalty, and so many, right? There are so many different clouds that come: commerce cloud, marketing cloud. So people want these niche skills now. One of the very niche growing skills which I see in the market today is Omni Studio. A lot of openings are happening for Omni Studio, which was not the case, I think, 12 months ago or 18 months ago. It was not a case for Omni Studio, but that's happening because the product has grown. Obviously, the implementations have grown, they have changed. So you can't expect your same skills which gave you job in 2015 to give you just job in 2024. So another reason why you need to keep upscaling is you need to be ahead of this curve, right? You have to be ahead of the market. So that is where all the jobs are hiding and in plain sight, actually.
Thanks, Mitali, for all the lovely insights which you have shared here. It would surely help our audience to grow in their Salesforce career. Thank you so much for joining us for this
Thank
podcast.
you.
Yeah, thank you, Mitali. These were some great insights. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.